What is Sensation working on right now? We are on my old Alienware Aurora R1, and I have Windows 11 IoT, Enterprise IoT, LTSC 21 or 24H2, I believe it is, or 2024, whatever you want to call it, right? It's not what we're working on, just the system we're using because I was having some issues with my GTX 1080 Ti, but I believe I got them solved now. I thought my power supply might be going bad, but that's not happening. If you look at the top right-hand corner, though, of your viewing screen, you might see what I see, or we got a dead image for some reason. As I'm looking over there, I see the Alienware in the camera, and you can see me waving, but all you're seeing is my background. I don't understand that. I'm going to get the download I'm working on done, and that download is going to be Elementary OS. So what I'm going to do, since we have a problem with my capture card displaying what's on my screen there, is I'm actually going to move over to my other computer for this part of it, because I am downloading it. So there we go. You can just look at that screen, and there's my YouTube channel. But let's take a look at Elementary OS. This is an option that I want to show you because I do have a little experience with using this one too. I like Elementary OS because it gives you more of the minimalistic Linux version. And I still believe it's based on Ubuntu, if I'm not mistaken. But we can see here, we're going to look at an announcement 8.0. Today, we're proud to announce that Elementary OS 8 is available to download now and shipping on several high-quality computers. Okay. We're just reading a little bit here, and you can read about it too on your own when you go into here. I'm pretty sure it's based off of Ubuntu. So that's the best way to put it, and that's what we're gonna mess with today. I will be completely honest with you. I haven't used this system in a while, so this is definitely new for me as well. But we're going to download it and try it. The nice part about it is, in order to support the developers of this OS, you can basically make any payment that you want here, right? And you don't even technically have to pay for it. But if you like it, I recommend everybody, just put in what you can towards it, right? These developers, they don't ask for much from us, and we should definitely give back to them. I don't understand why my image isn't showing up on there. So I think it's probably because I don't have the capture card fully hooked up right. So I might change that around after we get the download done, because I don't want to crash the download. But getting back to this, I went ahead and purchased it, and we're downloading it on the Alienware computer. But while we're doing that, I just wanted to go over a little bit of stuff here with you. We're going to use Rufus after we get it downloaded to install, and I'll go ahead and show that process again in the video. All right, I got my screen back now so you can see what I see. We're going to create the USB installer for this. That's what we're going to work on right now. So what I use to do these is Rufus. You can just type Rufus into your search bar. Click enter, and it's going to take us right to Rufus, where you can create bootable USB drives. A lot of people use Ventoy, and I could put it on that, but I'm going to mess with so many of these. My 16 gig flash drives like this guy are not going to hold it. So if you don't have an 8 or a 16 gig flash drive, I recommend that you get a couple of them. You can buy a bag on them on 16 gigs on Amazon for cheap. So do that if you want to start messing with these different Linuxes and stuff. We are going to go down here and find our download, and I'm just going to scroll down to find the Rufus 4.11exe. Don't click this download when that ad pops up. Just close it out. And Rufus is going to download just like that. We're going to close out this browser now. because I want to go to my downloads, and I'm going to drag Rufus right out to my desktop, right there. And underneath that, you see we have our Elementary OS 8.0 stable downloaded, okay? This is based off Ubuntu long-term distribution, so Ubuntu LTS. We're going to close that out, and what you want to do next is double-click your Rufus 4.11, click yes here. Yeah, we'll just let it check for updates. All right. So you can see that it's picked up our target USB right here, which is our 16 gig. It already has Windows on it, but we're going to wipe that out when we do this. I'm going to go right here to I guess there's another update here. All right, let's try it again. So we're going to take our disk or ISO image right here, and we're going to hit select. My downloads is going to show it, but I don't have it on my desktop. It's in my downloads. So we're going to take Elementary OS 8, and we're going to put it on here. Now, we're not really going to change any options. I think what I'm going to put it on is going to be a UFI, so I can go to GPT. But if you don't know what you have, leave it on MBR. Trust me on that, because the new systems will still use MBR. So leave it on that. I'm going to go with GPT because I'm an idiot and I want to limit what I put it on. For example, the GPT partition won't work on our beloved Alienware we're using, because this is an LGA 1366 platform. It had actually come out in 2009. That's right. This old girl is still a beast today, but it come out in 2009. So let's go ahead and click start here. And it's going to tell you this image you have selected is the ISO hybrid image. This means it can be written either in ISO image or DD image. So I'm just going to do ISO image like they recommend, and I'm not going to mess with that. Click OK. Now it's just going to warn you that everything on this device is going to be destroyed. We know that. So we're going to click OK. It's going to delete the partitions, and now it's cleaning them, and now it's creating the file system task. Basically, Rufus is doing all the work to put that ISO we downloaded on your USB to make a bootloader. I don't know what our boot option is the thing with it. I mean, I should have probably figured that out. I got to do that every time I mess with this system. I should probably put on here what key does it. I think we got it, UEFI Ubuntu. But that could be Linux Mint. I don't know. UDisk. Let's see, legacy. Let's do UEFI UDisk because that's what they call these. They're UDisk. So let's see if that works. For years, this is it. So for years, it could be a different option than what I have. For boot menu, generally it's F9, F10, F11, or F12. Yours may be different than what mine is, but we're going to boot into it. This EFI stub warning failed to measure data for event. That usually doesn't mean anything. So as you can see, we're getting a load screen now. So if you get that warning, don't shut your computer off and think that your install's broken, because it's likely not. You can see maybe in the middle we got an icon working where it's loading the Elementary OS. I do have it in USB 3.0 on our HP Z440 workstation. I am going to format the hard drive to put this on when I install it. And we're going to go right to the install. The install looks similar to what it was years ago when I did this. When I say years ago, could have been 5, could have been 10. When you get old like me, the years all run together. That's right. They run together. We got kind of a faded screen. It's not your vision. Trust me, it's mine. I don't know. It don't look as faded when I look across over there to see what you're seeing, but it definitely faded for me. I'm just waiting for it to load our icons up. So this is taking a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna go through eventually, right? I mean, we have a desktop technically and an icon, so what are we waiting on? Today, Junior. No. It'll load eventually. Eventually it'll load, right? I don't know. Some of these installs do this and they take a little bit of time. So I'm not going to make you suffer through it. I'll stop the video and we'll cut it back on. We'll cut it back on when we see some icons on there and know what to do. Wait, as soon as I walk away, the screen goes black for a second. There we go. As soon as I threaten to walk away, you see how that works? I threatened it and there it was. What is that? I don't know what kind of talking was going on this computer. All right, so this is English, and that's what I'm going to use. You select your own if you're Chinese or French or Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, whatever. Just select whatever you are. I'm in the US, so I'm going to select that. US on my keyboard layout, I'm going to select that. Default. You can try a demo, you can erase disk and install, or you can custom install. Custom installs, if you're creating partitions and stuff, only do that if you know how to create a partition. If you don't do it, you want to learn how to do it and give yourself a crash course in it, then you'll do a custom install. Other than that, you can try it in a demo mode, which is what I recommend doing for the first time. I could actually do that and not erase my Linux Mint. So let's just try it in a demo mode, right? We might as well, for me and video purpose, and I can try it that way. You might want to install it. Where is my Wi-Fi adapter? I think I plugged it in already. So let's go ahead and connect that. Okay. Sign it into my network here. That way we can have interweb when we're doing this. So we'll get interweb. It's still the same basic elementary OS that I remember, and I kind of like that about it. Welcome. To set up some useful features, visit the links below. Basic guide, get help, our website, You go through here and it's going to teach you a little bit about it. Dark mode, obviously. We'll do that. It's easier to see on the screen. I'm going to move this over to, no, I can't move it over. It's got to stay there. So we can go to night light. You can turn night light on if you need to, if you got a lot of sunlight coming in or whatever through the window. Housekeeping, download files, old temporary files, Online accounts, use mail, calendar, and task. Pretty normal stuff. Get apps made for Elementary OS and reviewed by Elementary on the App Center. So that way you know that they're safe, right? Automatic updates, so free purchase in apps and operating system. So you check that and it'll update automatically. Ready to go. So let's get started. All right, so if you look at this, you can see it's pretty simple, just like I promised you, okay? I'm going to click my sound for my updates first. You see date and time settings, so we can go there. Mine is on Eastern UTC, which is fine. Drivers available. I'm not going to worry about doing this because I'm in demo mode, remember that. And of course, our sound is working too, so that's nice. Oh, I shut it all the way off there, didn't I? So that's your sound up there. You've seen how I connected to the Wi-Fi network right up here on the top right-hand corner. If you have wired, then obviously you'll see your wired connection there. That's your notifications. You can actually turn on Do Not Disturb if you want to. And then this says it's a screen reader, dark mode, power sleep. So it's just telling me all the settings that we have in there. So let's take a look at the bottom of this, starting on the far left-hand side of it. You have multitask view. If you click that, it's going to allow you to multitask and add other windows to it by clicking the plus sign. So now if we click, I might not get that option since we're doing it like we're doing it here. If you go to your file folder, that's the one right next to it. That's where you're going to see your familiar desktop documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, templates, videos, okay? So just like on Windows, right? And you see I got my 512 gig hard drive with Linux Mint on it. and it's sitting here too. And for all intents and purposes, I'm keeping that on there, and that's why we're in demo mode on this one. So you can, everything's going to close weird. So this is what I want to show you on the elementary OS. And some of you might not like it for this. Others, it probably won't bother. Me personally, it doesn't really matter, right? There may be a way to go in and change it. Let's hit the settings here. But what I'm talking about is if you look, all your closeouts are on the left. So if we close this tab out here, it's on the left. You see that? We close the whole box out, it's on the left. It's not on the right like on Windows. I don't know if you can change it. Double click to navigate, sort folders, remove tabs. It don't look like you can. So that's one of the things you'd have to get used to on this, is having that stuff on the left. So that's just your file folder, your normal one. We're going to move on from that, and you're going to see that we have Mozilla Firefox more than likely here. We're going to find out because we're going to click to open it. Things are going to go a little slower on my end because I'm not fully installed, right? So welcome to the web. Start browsing. This does look like it's based off of Firefox. And go to home screen. Is that going to show that? So let's just go to speed test maybe just to see if something's working. I should get an option. It's going to take me to DuckDuckGo. You can always go in and change your search preferences inside the web browser, because this does look like it's built on, or based off of Mozilla Firefox, which is fine. But you can put Chromium or anything else on it. So we're just actually pretty good download speeds on our little adapter here with our HVZ440. So 2 thumbs up for that. Not terrible, right? Being this far from the router. The ping is atrocious though. The loaded ping is 230, and that's kind of atrocious. And we don't have much of an upload on it either. But who cares? We're not messing with that. But again, this is going to X on the left again. So that's your web browser. Next, we're going to go to Mail. So if you want to connect your, let's say you have a MSN account, a Hotmail account, or a Live Mail, whatever they call it. You can connect that to Gmail, anything you can connect on here, and you can have it all in your nice little convenient app that's down on the bottom of the toolbar, right? So the next one we're going to go to is your task folder. So there's, that's self-explanatory. That folder right there, self-explanatory. Then you have a calendar right in the middle. So there's your calendar and what it looks like when it's opened up. Nice and simple, nothing fancy there. Music, if you listen to music and when you want to organize your files, here it is right here. You can open files down in the bottom of it. And if you have music, then you can drag your music into there and load it in. So you can listen to your own MP3, MP4, whatever files you got. Next to that, we got videos. So that's going to go right to your video folder. So if you have videos saved in there, you'll be able to go in there and grab them. Pictures, the same way. These are just hot icons for that stuff, okay? There's your settings. I do like having that on the toolbar. So that's a nice thing to have. And this, again, this just gives you something different. There's our power settings, so we know we're automatic displays off in 15 minutes. Power button suspends it. Suspend when inactive for 15 minutes. I'm not worried about changing that. You're going to want to adjust it to what you want it at. But that is a nice hot tool to get into your settings here and to make any changes. If we take a look at the system, we can see we're running elementary OS 8. We go to hardware here. We got an Intel Xeon CPU E5 1630V4, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080, 64 gigs of memory, and 512 gigs of storage, right? Firmware, same thing, drivers. And these are the NVIDIA drivers that you can select for it. We're not going to mess with any of that. I want to get right here. This is the App Center. So this is a little different on elementary OS than what you're going to see on other operating systems. If it'll open for us, When you're trying these things out like this, sometimes this kind of stuff don't work right because it's not installed on your hard disk and it won't want to run. And I have a feeling the App Center is going to do that to us here today. As you can see, it did not open. I'm going to try clicking it again. I would like it to open on the demo mode, but I understand if it doesn't. Uh, it's going to be similar to any of the Linux app centers and your Microsoft Store. So the App Center is where you go to get different apps and stuff. There it is. It opened up. Perfect. So self-explanatory once again. If you're looking at it here, you can see the different apps, and as you heard me talk about and we read, these apps on here are approved by Elementary OS as safe, which means that it's likely not going to break your system, right? So what I'm wondering is if we go to search up here and we do Discord for you gamers, right? There it is right there, and it's free. So right there, free to download, and it should be because we know that Discord's free. So we'll go back to the search. The other thing you'll be interested in is Steam, right? And there's Steam right there. So you can put your Steam on there or whatever you want. I mean, just check the App Center out. This may not have all the Office things, so we're going to go to the application there. And this is going to show us all of our applications that are installed on this machine, right? And you can, oh, we don't want to do that. You can see when I did that I didn't see any of the LibreOffice. So we don't have any of the LibreOffice. So the way that you get that on an operating system like that is go to your search bar, type in LibreOffice. Right here. First option, when I typed it in, there's LibreOffice right there. That's going to give you your writer and everything like that. So if you need that stuff for your office, then you know that it's right there. So this is just going to be a pretty simple rundown. We would take a look at our settings for date and time here. You can see how that pops up. Everything's nice and clean. It really is. I mean, we're in the dark mode, but everything is nice and clean. We're on a 24-hour clock. One of the things I like to do is switch it over to AM, PM, because that's more standard for what we do. We don't, in the US at least, we don't always run on the 24-hour clock. Military does, but civilians, we run on AM, PM in the US. So we're more apt to use the AM, PM. You see, it's 12:07 p.m. And the reason I'm doing this at noon today is because I'm not working. So I figured it'd be a great time to work on the sensation stuff. And I'm working on the room in here today, the studio, and been working on the floor, getting things cleaned up. And we're going to have a whole different look to this room pretty soon. I promise you that. I got things going on behind the scenes, and I'm not showing it yet because I'll reveal it when it's done. But getting back to this, you can see that you can do a lot of changes in here. If you want to change your location, like we're New York Eastern. I'm not New York, but I'm on Eastern time, just like New York. So we can go there and do that. Most of your other settings, though, can we get into it under applications? Maybe. Yeah, we can still get to the system settings. So you can go in here and change whatever you need to. There's your displays, night lights, filters, right? Mine shows as Elgato because that's actually what my display capture is. That's a capture card. So it's pretty simple. It is stripped down just like I said it was. That's the only tab we haven't used. And when I clicked it, it freaked the whole damn system out. Oh, because that's the install tab. You won't see that. So we'll go back to select English, US. I'll get back in there one more time and we'll do a closeout on it. I am in the demo mode once again. If you go to install it, you're going to select that option right there, erase disk and install, and just click that button, right? I don't want to do that on this one. You can do it if you're installing it full time. But if you just want to try it out like I am, then obviously you can do it the same way that I'm doing it right here, which is try it in the demo mode. I recommend this on some of these systems. Uh, this one I'm going to do it on just because I want to keep Linux Mint on my computer, right? So if you don't want to erase your disk and you don't have a clean hard drive in your computer that you want to install it on and play with, there you go. You can see it pops your driver updates up too in the top right hand corner of the screen, so that's pretty cool. Elementary OS is one that I enjoyed using, and that's why I wanted to show it to you here today, because it's kind of the least followed one. This is really safe for people coming over from Windows because everything in that app store, they approve its effectiveness, and Elementary OS offers its own apps too. They have apps that are available for purchase that are of their, I doubt it's their making, but they could be their making, but they are available for purchase. So you can see all kinds of different options when you get in the app store here. And I haven't messed with none of this for a while, so it's pretty cool to be able to get in here and do it. This looks like it's based off the Ubuntu App Center, honestly, but it was customized for Elementary OS. So they offer apps on here for Elementary OS. What's the clock gadget look like? Can we put that on here? Let's just see. So it's free, it says, and says it installed it. There it is. Check that cool little guy out. So if you want that cool little clock, it was no more than just downloading a gadget here, right? And I guess since we're just trying it, that let's pin it. Pin portable apps to the launcher. I don't know if I want to mess with that. So if you go down here to search, you have audio. This is likely going to bring up any music apps and things like that. SpotTube, Freedom of Music, Nuclear, Kavasic, Furnace. So you have you got a tuner right here. That's pretty cool. That's actually a paid app. So if you look, you don't really get this on any of the other app centers on here, but these are paid apps, which means that they're likely from Elementary OS. So that is pretty cool that they have apps like that you can't get anywhere else. Communication, what will we have here? Delta Chat, Descent, Equalabop, Jammy. Those are all free. Let's see if they have any paid versions for their self here. Nope, not seeing anything on there. This is where you're going to find web browsers and stuff like that too. Anything that would fall under the communication category would be in there. Development, this is obviously going to be probably AI stuff and stuff like that now. But if you're coding and stuff, just different things in here for doing that, which is pretty cool. Oh, they have paid apps in here. So Comet, Peak, Spectator, Tech Shine. That one's $10. It's called Taxi. So I don't know. These might just be developers that charge for their apps too that are approved through Elementary OS. So really a cool operating system to mess around with, right? You can go through here and play around and add the apps, add different apps that you might think you're interested in. The maps one right here. Oh, that looks like it's a pretty cool app here, made for Elementary OS. It's reviewed by Elementary O for security, privacy, and system integration. That's really cool, right? You can see that Elementary made it. They updated and all. So why not just add it? Okay, we'll just install that too. And it says running in demo mode, install Elementary OS to browse and install apps. So there you go. That was my warning about the demo mode right here. So what do we got over here? Clock gadget, open, maps. Let's go ahead and open it. Can we did it install it? I don't know. Go to our applications and see if we got some maps in here. It looks like it installed it. So we'll pull the maps up. I believe it's updating to it now. So we might just give it a second. But that's basically going to, well, and not basically, that is going to do it for the video. Look at that. It's honing right in on to my location. But it's wrong. That's not where I'm located, but it's close enough, right? Where's it have me at? Why don't I recognize? Yep, I recognize these roads. But this is not where I'm at. But if you wanted to know more about where I'm at, then you would have to go up the map right around this area, I think. Let me find my road. Does my road even show up on here? There's Kathleen. Oh, yep. I live in this area right here. So this is where I live. So the map showed it. But the map option is pretty cool. I'm just scrolling in and out with the cursor, right? I'll take a bigger shot at it, and you'll see that I am actually in Florida right here, in Central Florida, right where I said I was. So, and this is where I was at the other day. I was right here in Charleston. So we come back from that. I still got a couple of days off, and I'm going to enjoy doing videos for you. That's going to do it for our elementary OS demo today. I hope you enjoyed it. It looks like a very fun one to play around with, right? And that's what this is about. I mean, if you're using Windows 10, you're going to get security updates until October of 2026. So now is the time to demo and try some of these Linux OS versions out to find one you like. Elementary OS is one that I enjoyed using before. It's not one that you hear mentioned very much, and it's not one that I see a ton of videos on. But it is one that the developers really care about the OS that they've developed, and it shows in the way everything works on it. So you'll find that it's flawless. You will have to get used to all the windows to close it out. Being on the left-hand side of the screen, then that's kind of weird, don't get me wrong. But you'll get it figured out soon enough. You can see that it's pretty easy to go through and scroll through and do this. One of the things that I said that you can probably do, I know a lot of people use Google Chrome. So it's called Chromium. Ungoogled Chromium. That's pretty cool. Chromium without Google. Chromium web browser. All these are going to be Google Chrome, right? And you can get Google Chrome here too. So you can get Chromium or Chrome. It doesn't matter. Which will work just like it did on your Windows. Okay. But I doubt we can get, let's try Edge. Let's see if somebody did something. Yeah, it's on there too. So there's my phone. It's over there listening to me. That's my phone. She's been listening to me over there. Just shut up, phone. If you mention the word Google, then your Google AI assistant will be glad to help you out on your phone. So I wish she would quit listening to my conversations when I'm making a video for you. But you can put Microsoft Edge on it too. And if you don't want that annoying crap to happen, I recommend using Firefox or something else. That's going to do it. This was a really fun Sensation production. And I'm looking forward to exploring some of the old distros that I've hopped to and tried out all over again right here on the Sensation channel, because these are options for all of you migrating from Windows 10. Windows 11 is bloatware, spyware. You can comment if you think I'm wrong. TPM 2.0, Trusted Platform Module 2.0, and Secure Boot does not benefit the end consumer, but it does benefit Big Brother Microsoft. So if you want to stick it to Microsoft, try something like Elementary OS out. Make sure you take care of the developers, because they're working hard to bring a good solid Linux distro to you to try out. You can game on it, obviously, because you can put Steam on it, and you can download any of the other Linux games. And heck, if you go in the Software Center, there's going to be games in here for you, right? So let's go down here. Can we find games? Fun and games. Look at that. Elementary knows you want fun and games, so they have them right here for you too. I'm not going to mess around with that today, but I will show you some of what they got because I think it's kind of fun, right? You can add all the little marble games. I played around with these before, and I had a lot of fun messing with it. I even found some MMORPGs and some other things that were fun to mess with on here. But that's for you to do. I'm only here to show you the basic rundown of elementary OS today and to tell you that I believe it is a viable option for a lot of you switching over from Microsoft Windows 10. And you got until October to get it figured out, right? Or you're going to be stuck getting a new PC or running Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. Don't do that. It's time to switch. It's time to get away from this. And I think that this is a good option for you to do that. How do I get out of here? I'm going to go with a restart, and I'm going to take our USB out of here and press enter. And we do have elementary on that USB, and I'm going to make sure we boot back into Linux Mint since that's my main operating system on this. And then we're going to close out the video. I do thank you for tuning in. It's been another great SimStation video here today. Like, comment, subscribe if you want me to continue doing videos like this for Windows 10 alternates or replacements. And I'm going to keep doing them. That's if they keep getting the views, that's something that I want to continue to do. I do appreciate each and every one of my subscribers, every one of the comments I get, and I try to respond to every one of you in a timely fashion. And that's just what I do. Linux Mint's going to stay on this one though. And I'm going to keep this one hooked up for a little bit because I want to play around on it some. So the Linux Mint's another one I used a lot, but I haven't used it in a while. So this gives me a chance to play around and get myself re-familiar with this stuff if I'm going to mess with it now. Pretty soon my main rig is going to Linux, but right now I'm using CapCut. I'm going to learn an alternate. I'm working on an alternate for Linux now to start editing my videos, and once I get more comfortable with that, then I'm gonna switch it to Linux permanently. I just have a lot of stuff on there, and the way my camera and stuff works on it, it's going to be hard for me to make my capture card and everything work, but I'm going to switch cameras to do these type of videos right here, and that way it works with my Linux. So I am going to do that. That's coming up in the future. You're going to see some big changes here at SimStation in regards to what operating system he's using. And likely Windows will only be left on my iRacing rig. And that's only because it's forced on me. But it is running Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2. And I had a big problem with that last night. Apparently, a Windows update on it wiped out my AMD graphics drivers, and my computer kept shutting off. So I had to reinstall the graphics drivers on it and get the Radeon software back because it was completely missing. So just a multitude of reasons why you should choose Linux, right? Problems with Windows. You've got till, like I said, October of 2026 to really decide, because Microsoft did their soft ending, and I call it a soft ending because they offered support for another year. I don't think they're going to do that again for you come 2026. I think they're going to tell you you need to buy a new PC. You don't. Your old hardware is still very capable of doing the tasks that you need it to do today. And honestly, you're going to find when it runs on Linux that there's a lot less stuff on it dragging it down and slowing it down. So I recommend switching to Linux for anybody on Windows. If you are doing iRacing and stuff like me, then you don't have a choice and you're kind of stuck on it until we get a choice. But the more people that switch to Linux, the more support Linux is going to get from the software makers. And the next thing you know, everything that don't work on Linux now in 6 months might. So take my word for that, because those companies are going to cater to where the crowd's going. And I think that Linux is the future. I think open source software and operating systems is the future. and that's why we should all embrace it. But it's up to you. You make your own choice on whether or not you want to go buy a new PC because Microsoft told you to, so you can run Windows 11. Elementary OS is a great choice, and I'm glad that I got to demonstrate that for you here today. But like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more exciting Thursday night videos like this. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day or a great evening.